Bank of England calling Reeves a liar. Of course, the Bank of England didn't use such strong language as to call her a liar, but that's basically what they're saying. I was going to show you a clip of Andrew Bailey, the governor of the Bank of England, but he's so dull and such a wet wipe that you'd fall asleep before the end of the clip, so I'll just read you a quick quote from him. The challenge we have at the moment is that the forward-looking sort of evidence and activity in the economy, so the surveys are nothing like as strong as that. So there is a disjoint, if you like, between the number and the pattern we get from the surveys and evidence. He's talking shite. What he means really is, Labour are saying we're going to have this growth, there's going to be loads of growth in the economy. The problem is, when they speak to business leaders, when they look at the evidence, the people who are in employment, businesses that are closing down to businesses that are opening, etc., there is no correlation between Labour's policies and any sort of economic growth whatsoever, quite the opposite. And he also said that the ONS, the Office for National Statistics, isn't very good and that you're far better looking at private figures. He went on to say surveys are probably a bet on average, a better predictor of the future than the immediately previous GDP number. There's a whole range. If you add them up, all the various surveys get around quite a lot of the economy. It's been pointed out that although in the first quarter, GDP actually went up the economy grew by 0.7%, GDP grew by a big fat zero. So there's no growth in the economy. And when they say wages are going up, that's because they pumped billions into public sector pay rises. Private sector wages haven't moved, they can't afford to. And it isn't the public sector that makes any money for the economy. It's the private sector that makes money for the economy. That's why there's no growth, yet they're saying wages are going up. Penny dropping yet? In other words, they're barefaced liars. It's artificial what they're doing, and they're borrowing untold, scandalous amounts of money to con you.